The first question is, where has your mom been, or why isn't Jill in your videos anymore? There is absolutely no drama here, guys. As we announced in September on our last live show, I'm going to be making some changes to my channel, and I am just moving the videos more towards grocery savings. Unless the apocalypse happens, which, you know, the way things are going, you never know what's gonna happen. But at the moment, I'm just doing more videos on grocery savings. That's my focus now. A lot of my attention, the majority of my focus has been going to my Super Easy Recipes channel. If you don't know it, I'll leave the link in the description below, but that channel is sailing along. We are doing really well, and it is actually outperforming Living on a Dime by double. So that is my focus right now, is on Super Easy, but I am going to keep continuing to do some videos on Living on a Dime until we decide if we want to scrap Living on a Dime and just do Super Easy or keep doing both. We're not quite sure what we're going to do yet. But there is no drama. Nothing's happening. My business isn't tanking. I'm not losing sales. None of that. Oh, it's crazy the rumors people come up with. But anyway, there's nothing going on. I'm just turning the videos solely towards grocery savings and stockpiling. This video is brought to you by our Dining on a Dime cookbook. We have quick and easy recipes your family will love to help you get in and out of the kitchen fast. Please visit us at livingonadime.com. It's 25% off now. I am single, and 2 years ago I bought a small freezer. I find that my grocery bills have gone down since. I freeze extra meat, etc. when they are on sale. I also make homemade portions of food to freeze and eat when I am busy. Would you recommend small freezers for single people or couples? Yes, if you don't mind using a freezer, I would definitely recommend it. My aunt, who was 80 years old when she died, had a freezer forever, and she loved using her freezer. Now, she did cook for a lot of people. She lived in a retirement community, and she loved cooking for a lot of the people there and having parties and that type of thing. So she did use it for more than just herself. But yes, if you want, go ahead and get a little freezer. Now, the thing is, some people don't like using little freezers, and that's okay. It's just totally up to you, but it can be a good way to save money. You can buy large packages of chicken and break them up into smaller packages and freeze it. You could cook up an entire package of chicken and break it into little meals and then freeze it. You could cook up hamburger like I do here with my hamburger packets. Okay, so I put my hamburgers in the fold top sandwich bags, which are a penny piece. You fold the top down and this little flap comes over. Then I pop these in the refrigerator, and these are 1 meal portions, about 3/4 of a pound. It's so simple. I just throw it in the freezer and pull one out when I need it. It's just a really handy tool to have. And I find that it only costs about $25 a year to run a big freezer. So it's not that big of a deal. And it definitely can be a way to save money. Next question is, what do you do when you're too cheap to eat but get tired of eating your own cooking? Well, look for new recipes. What kind of things do you like to eat out? And then go look for copycat recipes like that. We have several copycat recipes on our website, livingonadime.com, and in our Dining on a Dime cookbooks, both in volume 1 and volume 2. So look for those copycat recipes of the places that you're eating. If you're eating at the restaurant, you obviously like the food. Make sure you're using enough salt in your food. Add butter to your food. It does add a really good flavor, but make sure you're salting your food enough, because usually that is the reason why people don't like cooking, is because they don't have enough salt. Get those copycat recipes and start making some of those. Crafty Come Lately says, how about three items in your pantry, name 4 to 5 recipes to do with that, such as canned chicken, canned tomatoes, rice, or sausage and beans and rice, or tuna and pasta and cheese. Actually, that's a great idea, and I will be doing some videos like that in the future. Elaine says, is liquid eggs cheaper by serving size than whole eggs? No, it is not. Whole eggs, even at the $6 to $8 a dozen that they were a couple of weeks ago, it is still cheaper than buying the liquid eggs. And the other question that goes along with that, Denise says, would love to know your thoughts on buying powdered eggs, any recipes to use them. So powdered eggs are not cheaper either. Both of those are actually double, triple, and quadruple, depending on which one you buy. The price of regular eggs, even at $6 to $8 a dozen, it is a lot cheaper. So how would I use powdered eggs? I used to get powdered eggs and I loved them, especially for baking. I would throw them in all of my cakes, brownies, pancakes, any baking. I used powdered eggs. I did not make them into scrambled eggs, but I love them for all of my baking. Eric says, my question is how to get around eating out. We don't want to eat out, but we leave the house a lot, sometimes unexpectedly, and have gotten sick of sandwiches. LOL, eating out is a big problem. The number one way to stop eating out is just decide you're not going to do it, period. I am not going to spend $75 to feed my family because I'm late and have to go to a soccer game. It is not worth working 3 to 4 hours at work that day just to save myself 20 minutes worth of work at home to cook. So get you something in the crock pot beforehand, but sandwiches are fine. Just get different sandwiches, get new meats, make different combinations. You can do things like already have your carrots and celery pre-cut, get the baby carrots. You can get granola bars, get a bag of chips and repackage them. Go ahead and get a cooler or a thermos and get it filled with tea and water. But just saying we're getting sick of sandwiches, that's just an excuse. I mean, people use that as an excuse because they like eating out. Sorry, that's the way it is. But it doesn't take 20 minutes to throw some hamburgers on the grill and make yourself a hamburger at home. If you don't have 20 minutes in between things you're doing to prepare a meal, you are way overbooked and you need to be cutting some things out. People don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. Grill those hamburgers in the morning, put them in the fridge, warm them up in the microwave, throw them on a bun, and take them with you if you want. Have the kids sit down one afternoon or evening and pre-package a whole bunch of homemade brownies, a whole bunch of chips. Don't be wasting money on all these pre-packaged items and just stop making excuses. There are a lot of things you can do. If you like things like hummus or bean dips, you can make those up in a big batch, put them in the refrigerator or freezer. If you just really want a hot meal, when you do cook at home, cook double, freeze it in individual containers and nuke them all in the microwave and have everybody eat them in the car as you're going if you want. You could do something like that. But just to say we're sick of sandwiches, really, sorry, it's just an excuse. Sandra says, how much does one adult need in groceries for 1 month? So need in groceries, I would say $100 is a good grocery budget. I know a lot of people who spend more, but if you are frugal with your grocery bill, $100, even in 2025, is plenty to spend on your grocery bill as a single person. Tanya, any chance you will do a live stream anytime soon? So I am still trying to decide on that. What happened with the live streams was our numbers were actually going way down on our live streams. So we stopped doing them because we didn't know if they were productive. Now, a lot of people have asked and we are considering it. So comment and let me know, even if you didn't watch them live, did you watch our live streams later? And if so, what did you like about our live streams and what was helpful? That will give me a little bit of an idea what direction we want to go, what direction I want to take. Leghorn Life says, basic cheap list of easy meals for the week. So what I do is I will cook a roast. We'll have roast and potatoes and carrots and onions one night. Then the next night I'll make beef and noodles. The next night I'll make beef fajitas, or I'll make beef stroganoff out of that. Another day I will cook up an entire 3-pound big package of chicken from Walmart. We'll have shredded chicken one day. We'll have green chili another day. We'll have chicken and noodles another day. We'll have chicken rice soup. We'll have stir fry. Any of those recipes are quick and easy. The thing is cook all of your meat at once for 3 or 4 days, and then just make meals out of that meat. The meat is what takes the longest to cook. So if I throw my roast in the morning on Monday morning and I have it all cooked up, then I've got dinners to Wednesday, possibly Thursday, and some lunches in there too. Then Thursday, I'll just cook up a thing of chicken and those will be our dinners for the next 3 or 4 days. And I just rotate through like that. Kimberly says, I would love recipes for DIY convenience foods to keep in the freezer. Think chicken nuggets and fries that you can just pull out and toss in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. I have no idea why you would be making your own French fries. Just go buy French fries, tater tots, hash browns, already pre-shredded hash browns, just go buy them at the store. Honestly, yes, it saves triple the amount of making them over at home, but the amount of work it takes, because you have to cook them and blanch them and then freeze them separately and then repackage them, it's really not worth it. I know that's not your question, that's not the answer that you wanted, but it is a lot of work to do your own homemade convenience foods like that. Just go buy the chicken nuggets, just go buy the chicken tenders. I mean, if you're already using them, obviously you need the convenience. So for my convenience food, is I go back to the last question was, I pre-cook my dinner meat for 3 or 4 days, and then it only takes me 10 to 15 minutes to put dinner together every night. So I don't think it's a matter of freezing things so much as change the way you're cooking to make it more convenient for you. Ella Catchum says, what can I replace eggs for my breakfast? My husband is mainly carnivore and always has bacon and sausage and eggs as breakfast, but lately eggs are like liquid gold. He said he's willing to have some vegetables as long as they are not starch loaded, carrots, potatoes, corn. He suggested cabbage, broccoli, any mushrooms, any ideas? Well, for that, just cook him the eggs. Yes, I know at $6 to $8 a dozen, which is what they were a couple of weeks ago, that's super expensive, I get it, but it's not that much more expensive. The only other meat that would be significantly cheaper would be chicken leg quarters. If you roasted those and pulled off the meat, those would be cheaper, but honestly, just make the eggs. Another $20 a month if he's, just eating meat, another $20 or $30 a month. Well, it's not that big of a deal for most people. So if it is that big of a deal for you, then I would say you probably need to earn more income, but eggs are going down now. So I would just go ahead and give him the eggs. Linda says, does toothpaste ever expire? Actually, it's funny you mentioned this. Yes, it kind of can. So I got some toothpaste at a garage sale where a lady was a couponer and she would get all this stuff for free and then she'd sell it at a garage sale for super cheap. And I got a whole bunch of toothpaste and we didn't use it as fast as I thought we were using it. So I went in to go use it one time and a new bottle of it, and I realized it had expired 1.5 years ago. And I was like, oh, that's no big deal. And it had separated. But here's the thing. It's just the oils had separated. And once I needed the tube of toothpaste back together, toothpaste was just fine. So yeah, technically it can, but I've used it as old as 2, and I think I used one that was 3 years old, and it wasn't a big deal. Fun Fam says, what should I be spending on my family of 3 on groceries? We love to eat grass-fed meat and organic dirty dozen. I can't help you with that one. If you're going to be eating grass-fed meat, which by the way, guys, you do understand that the meat that is finished at the feedlots, it's only there for a couple of months being finished on grain. The other 99% of the cow's life has been grass-fed. So, just so you know, I know some people find that an important distinction, but it's not that cows aren't grass-fed. All cows, well, the majority of cows, are grass-fed throughout the year until they're finished the last 2 to 3 months. And the reason why they did that was because the extra added fat made the meat taste much better. So for those of you who are considering that, that's just another piece of information for you. But we love to eat grass-fed meat and organic dirty dozen. You're just going to be paying a lot. If that's the choice that you're making for your family, then you are choosing to have a higher grocery bill. There's not really a way to save money unless you just have your own garden, or you can find a farmer or somebody that you can swap with who has a big garden and you can swap or barter with them. Some farmers market here in my town, the farmers market is actually more expensive than going to the grocery store. And pretty much almost every town I've lived in. There was one town in Idaho 30 years ago when I went to a farmer's market and it was cheaper. But other than that, usually farmers markets are more expensive. And be careful, because the farmers markets now, they may say organic or whatever, but a lot of times these are just shysters that are bringing in the fruits and vegetables from somewhere else and just putting an organic tag on it. And it's not actually organic. It's not actually grown by that farmer. It's shipped in. The Amish here in my town, it's funny. they have a whole section in August where they have all these fresh fruits and vegetables. And I was like, there is no garden here. Where are all these fruits and vegetables coming from? And they have them shipped in. They are from Wisconsin. They had them shipped in from other places and made it look like, now they didn't flat out lie and say that they hadn't grown it, but they didn't say that it was grown somewhere else. The impression was given that the Amish were growing it. So be careful, because just because you think it's grown by the Amish or grown by this farmer doesn't necessarily mean that it is. And Michelle and Rob Parker say, I'm thinking of bacon lasagna with bacon. Do you have a recipe for that? You're so funny, Rob. So Rob is the guy that I've been getting my hyperbaric oxygen treatments from, and he's always harassing me. And he's a very good chef himself. I told him he should start his own YouTube channel. I gotta get the comedians in there. We love you, Rob and Michelle. Brown says, cheese, sour cream, yogurt free recipes. Not allergic or intolerant, just hate the wang. Cannot stand it. Seems lately people throw armloads of cheese into everything to make it better. Just leave the cheese off. I mean, I'm dairy free and I just leave it out. I just say no sour cream, no cheese on if I go out to eat or something or somewhere, but at home, I just make green chili and leave the sour cream and cheese off. I will make things like chicken rice soup and beef and noodles, a roast. We'll have quesadillas. We'll use goat cheese instead of regular cheese. I mean, I just leave it off. Go check our Dining on a Dime cookbooks. We have a lot of recipes that are easily adapted so that you don't have to have cheese in there. But check out our gluten-free, dairy-free cookbook, and all the recipes in there are gluten-free and dairy-free. And I also had the question, Tara, are you still taking all of the supplements? What are you doing right now to help your chronic fatigue syndrome and your fibromyalgia? So I've kind of alluded to this a little bit. Actually, I have been feeling really, really bad lately. The last year and a half, probably longer than that, actually probably closer to 2 years, I've been feeling really bad, and I have really been pushing myself just to keep going. But I've started a few things to try and help again. Now, you guys know I've been sick for 35 years, well, 38 years now, and I have spent over $100,000 in the last 10 years, well, yeah, at least, trying to feel better. And in this latest round, here's what I've discovered. So I started doing the hyperbaric oxygen chamber. You basically go in and sleep. You don't sleep. Well, you can sleep. But you lay in this chamber and it's like diving underneath. It gets pressurized and then it pushes, you have an oxygen thing, and it pushes oxygen into you. Now I'm doing the mild chamber, and then there's the regular big chamber that they use for like burn victims, cancer patients, things like that. And I'm doing the mild one. I did 60 rounds, and I was also getting glutathione IV pushes, 2,000 milligrams, twice a week. And between those two things, I started feeling really, really good. And I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel better. Let's start getting the next layers peeled out. Well, I went in and found out I had some really bad food allergies. Well, really bad allergies in general. I'm allergic to pretty much everything outside and in my garden. I'm allergic to potatoes and apples and oranges, wheat, rice, pecans, soy, pretty much everything people eat nowadays. And so I was totally frustrated with that. I'm not doing allergy shots once a week for the rest of my life. This is ridiculous. So I ended up doing, the lady that was giving me my glutathione pushes, she said, you know, I think there's this other test that you can take and we can see maybe if there's something else going on. It was $250. So I was like, okay. So I did the other test, came back that I had a really bad bacterial infection and a really bad fungal infection, a systemic fungal infection. Fungal infection was off the charts, off the top. it was so bad. And I was kind of suspecting that from other symptoms. I've had it before, and they had me on antibiotics and antifungals for 4 months. So I started antibiotics. There's a new antibiotic, $650 after insurance. I was like, holy moly. Anyway, on the antibiotics, on the antifungals, and I'm almost through that. Now, they also put me on this really strict diet, and basically I'm eating fish, cabbage, blueberries, a little bit of mayonnaise, and some seasoned salt. That's all I'm eating for 3 weeks. My fibromyalgia is not disappeared. Everyone keeps telling me, go on this keto diet, carnivore, all this stuff. Okay, so I'm not eating anything right now, and I'm feeling somewhat better, but I'm not totally cured. My fibromyalgia is not totally cured. It's not gone at all. But I'm gonna go for a little bit longer and see if I can get a little more, and see if I can get it tweaked a little bit more and start feeling a little bit better. Now, during this time, I have gotten extremely weak. So I started back trying to force myself to exercise again, starting really slow, working my way up, and hopefully I can get my endurance built back up. It's gardening season, so I really force myself during gardening season because I love to garden. So hopefully working out in the garden, I can get my endurance built back up. Okay, I have visitors. They're helping me clean up the garden. Wow, look at, oh my goodness, 2, 4, there's 6 of them. Holy macaroni. Good morning, guys. Enjoy it while it lasts, because there's going to be a fence up in 2 weeks. I'm very sorry to take away your desserts, but my garden is not your dessert tray. So specifically, what am I taking now? I am on fish oil. I was also low on vitamin C, so I'm taking vitamin C, vitamin D, alpha-lipoic acid, B vitamins, specifically B12, because I have the MTHFR gene, and so I don't process my B vitamins at all, so I have to take that. I'm on some special digestive enzymes, allergy medicine every day, and I think that's everything that I'm on. So then I just take a painkiller as needed, which is once or twice a day, depending on how much I'm up on my feet. So that's the regimen that I'm doing right now. I have cut out all my tea, which I'm really missing. And I don't care what anybody says. It's been 3 weeks since I've been on this diet. My sugar cravings are not going away. That's a bunch of baloney. So, anyway, yeah, I've been on this for 3 weeks. I am feeling slightly better, and I am going to keep trying. Now, the thing is, with stuff like chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, you just have to keep trying things. I know I've spent a boatload of money, but compared to other people that I know with CFS and fibromyalgia, I'm doing way better than they are. I mean, I'm at least up doing things. They're bedbound. So I know that the things that I'm doing are helping, because 15 years ago, I was bedbound. I mean, I just was in bed all the time. Do you remember Mom laying on the couch all the time? Do you remember Mom laying on the couch all the time because I wasn't feeling good? You do remember that? So, how did it affect you?
I was emotionally traumatized for life.
You were emotionally traumatized for life? So do I need to pay for your counseling now? How many times a week is it?
My mother abandoned me as a child.
Your mother, you felt abandoned by your mother because she was dead on the couch?
I was trying to play with my toys with you, and you were just...
You were trying to play with your toys and have me play with your toys, and I was just, he says, listen, oh my goodness. Did you even know any different? You probably didn't even know any different, did you?
I hardly remember it.
You hardly remember it. So it must not have been that bad, since they don't remember it. Or at least one of them doesn't remember it. So anyway, yes, I have spent a lot of money, But yes, I am determined to keep trying because frankly, I mean, I just can't keep living like a vegetable. I just can't do it. So I've got to keep at least trying and thinking that maybe the next thing I try will help. I had thought about getting a hyperbaric chamber for permanently because I absolutely love it, but they're between $5,000 and $15,000, and I have to do it every day. I feel great the day that I've used it. My son said I should just get an oxygen concentrator and just maybe try that for an hour a day and see if that helps, and that might do something. So I'm thinking about possibly trying that. The glutathione shots really help a lot, but they once again only last 24 hours. So I'm kind of hoping once I get all these other infections cleared up that I will start feeling better, and then some of these other things will start lasting longer. Also, everyone says, oh, take probiotics. Okay, that's fine, and yes, I'm going to be, but bacteria that I had an overgrowth with was one of the bacteria that's in probiotics. So if I would have been just taking probiotics willy-nilly, I would have just been making the situation worse. So while I get probiotics are good, not all of those things are good. When I did the whole functional medicine thing 10, 12 years ago, they kept putting me on this diet where I had to eat sauerkraut and kombucha and kefir and sourdough and all this stuff. And I kept telling them, I'm horribly sick. Oh, you're just detoxing. Well, I'm not detoxing for 4 months. That's absolutely ludicrous. So finally, I come to realize I'm allergic to the mold. That is all moldy food. Cheese is moldy food. Yogurt is moldy food. All of those foods are moldy. Well, I'm pretty much allergic to every single mold out there. And I know that I'm allergic to a lot of these moldy foods. So listen to yourself, guys. If something like that is not working, change it and try the next thing. You just have to keep trying. Is it frustrating? Yes. And there are days where I'm like, you know, I could have taken all the money that I spent last year and just gone on a vacation for 2 months in a hotel and sat on the beach in Florida, and I probably would have felt better, but it wouldn't have taken care of my infections. So, you know, it is frustrating, but yes, I just keep trying because I can't live just in a vegetable state my entire life. So I do keep forging on and trying. Please go watch this video next, how you can save more money on your grocery bill. Visit us at livingonadime.com. We'll see you guys next time.